Hi everyone, this is just a quick video to show you the chassis brace I made for my Thunder Tiger mt4 G3. It was very simple to make, just from some square section aluminium, like this, which I got from a local DIY store. It cable ties over the rear shock tower, and then it cable ties over the front shock tower. Now when the chassis brace is on, as it's so low compared to this, so tight against this cover, it does make it hard to get the cover off. So having these cable tie attachments on there, you can just undo them even with one hand. It was a bit difficult. A cable tie like that with a little cover on it, a little clip on it, so you can just undo them and just pull it straight off. And there's the back end. That was just drilled through, and then a Dremel was used to cut each side out, but you could just use a hacksaw. And that's the front one. Now this rear one was longer. It did used to come out further back and actually touch this rear piece here on the wheelie bar, which I thought would make it a bit stronger, but in reality when you crash, that rear end, if you take a rear end impact, that whole rear end does move. It does bend inwards, and I took a really heavy hit, and this piece here got smashed against this chassis brace, and it totally bent this bar. So I shortened it just to stop that happening. Now the reason for having a chassis brace on the mt4 at all is to just provide an extra brace, really a bit of strength between one shock tower and the other. Some people did complain that when they were jumping this truck, they managed to bend the chassis down at the bottom here at the back, or maybe at the front. Just having this brace just solidifies the whole chassis really, and it stops that being able to happen. You can still obviously get damage from bad landings, considering how high and how far you can jump a truck like this, but it definitely helps. I've never run it without a chassis brace, or without this chassis brace, and I've not had any trouble at all with a bent chassis. If you want any more information on the mt4 particularly, I'd go on wondertiger.com, which is a website which is solely devoted to the mt4, or for the most part. And also the Ultimate RC Forums is another website which has a lot of discussions, and there's one big discussion topic on the mt4 with lots of information about what to Loctite and what modifications to make if you want to make it even stronger than it is. There are also lots of other ideas of ways to make chassis braces, and this is just one of the simplest ideas that you can do. Another idea is to put an angle piece of aluminium across the whole shock tower to strengthen the ears at the front and back, and then you attach a brace of this type, or there's another brace called the Harley brace, which is a gear linkage which you put right between the two and then bolt down to that. So there's lots of different ideas, but this is just one of the simplest ones and the cheapest. It probably cost about, well, £6 or £7 or something like that to get this bit of aluminium, and that was all that you needed. I'm currently running this Proline Baja Bug shell, and the reason for that is the looks, and also it's meant to be pretty strong, and it seems pretty strong. But just something to show everyone is that immediately on the first run I did with this truck, because of the way the body fits, I managed to tear up the rear of the shell here, and that's despite lots of shoe goo and drywall tape on the inside to try and strengthen it. So again, another tip from another person who uses this shell on this truck, and was to put a piece of angled metal on the back there, which I've just bolted on, but people use rivets and different ways of doing it. And after using it now a couple of times with this system, it's really holding up a lot better. So that's a good tip for using this, because it would just tear up the whole rear end of the shell otherwise.